We all make mistakes, right? They're a huge part of life, they're a huge part of business, and they're a huge part of how we learn. And that's the key, right? Learning from our mistakes. Well, what about mistakes that you don't even know that you're making? That's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to give you 4 reselling mistakes that you could be making and not even realizing. Now, at first, these may seem obvious and that they don't apply to you, but as we break it down, you may think twice. To start off with, picture this. You've had a really good day. You've been out hitting up thrift stores or garage sales, and your car is loaded down with really good items to sell on eBay. And to make it even better, you've already brought it home, you've got everything listed, and you've got everything put away on a shelf. But let's say one of those items sells. How long is it going to take you to find it in that sea of listed inventory? And then what if you go sourcing the next day and the next day? It's just going to get worse and worse. So to me, having a proper inventory system is one of the first things you should do as a reseller. But not only should you establish an inventory system, you also have to manage it properly. It doesn't have to be complex. You see the bins behind me here. When I list something, I use the bin number as a custom SKU, and that way when it sells, I know exactly which bin it's in. Or even better, when a customer has a question that I don't remember, I can go right to the bin, pull it out, and answer their question. And I get that you might say that you have a small inventory so you know everything is, and that's probably true. But what if something happens to you? What if there's an emergency, you have to go out of town? Does your business just stop because you're not there? If you had a proper inventory system, you could spend a few minutes showing someone how it works, and they could probably pull orders for you. I spent about 10 minutes showing my wife how my inventory works, and now she can pull orders and ship when I'm not here. But my biggest mistake when it comes to inventory is not managing it. You have to actually manage your inventory. I'm really good about listing things and putting the custom SKU on them and put them in the right bin, that kind of thing. But for a long time, I've had a list it and forget it kind of attitude. I never went back through my inventory and made sure it was still listed. Well, that turned out to be a huge mistake. After 3 or 4 years of being in a storage unit, when I finally decided to move out, I finally decided to go through my inventory. And I found over 100 items that were no longer listed. They just disappeared off of eBay for no particular reason. That was over $2,000 in sales that I would have never made had I not gone through my inventory. So yeah, not only do you have to have an inventory system, you actually have to manage it. Now every once in a while I'll grab a bin, put in that custom SKU in my active listings page. eBay will list everything that I've got in that bin, and I can just compare what's actually in the bin with what's on eBay and make sure nothing's missing. So not having an inventory system or mismanaging it is a mistake that maybe you don't even know you're making. All right, this one's going to seem real obvious to begin with, but there's some stuff here that you may not have thought about. I'm in a few different reseller groups on Facebook, and inevitably there's a question almost every day that goes something like this.
I just sold this blank. What's the best way to ship it?
And I get it, finding profitable items for pennies on the dollar is exciting, and the first thing you want to do is list it and get it sold, but you have to think about how you're going to ship it and the cost associated with that before you even buy it. And honestly, I could spend hours explaining the nuances of shipping on eBay because it can be pretty confusing. So I would suggest that you go watch a few YouTube videos, get a basic understanding, and then know that you're going to make mistakes. You're going to underestimate the cost of a shipping label. You're going to underestimate the size or weight of an item. You're going to choose the wrong shipping service. It's going to happen. It's going to cost you money. And the best thing you can do is learn from it. I mean, raise your hand if you've ever had to ship something to Puerto Rico that was really heavy and you lost money because you forgot to exclude them or forgot that you had to ship stuff USPS. And like I said, all that seems pretty obvious, but one of the biggest mistakes when it comes to shipping is not knowing the actual cost. And I'm not talking about the cost of the label that you're buying. I'm talking about your time and the material that you're using. How long does it take you to package something? Your time is definitely worth something. And then how about the material you're using? Are you using a box? Are you using bubble wrap? How much does that stuff cost? So for example, let's say that maybe you sold a delicate tea mug on eBay for $10. Maybe it cost you 75 cents for the box. You may have used 50 cents worth of bubble wrap, and it took you about 10 minutes to package it properly. Well, on $10 sale after eBay fees and these shipping costs, that kind of eats into the profits. So not knowing your actual shipping costs can be a huge mistake. All right, so this one may actually be my favorite, and some of you may even disagree with me, but we sell things on the internet. We rarely, if ever, see our customers. They're just names on a label. but that doesn't mean we shouldn't provide top-notch customer service. And I think overlooking customer service is a huge mistake. And I struggle with this too, and I think the longer that you're into the reselling, the harder it is to provide that good customer service, because we get some crazy messages, some odd requests, and some dumb questions, and then those aggravating lowball offers. These aggravating customers can definitely help us develop an us versus them mentality, but you got to remember, they're paying the bills. So I do actually think that customer service is pretty important. And I know it's hard to answer those questions on items that was clearly explained in the listing, but if it took you 10 seconds to answer it and it turned into a $50 sale, don't you think it was worth it? And then those odd requests, honestly, if you feel comfortable doing it, go for it. But if you don't, when you interact with your customer, make sure you treat them how you want to be treated. And in turn, this good customer service should lead to more positive feedback, which could influence buyer decisions. It should move you up in the eBay search algorithm, and it could lead to more repeat buyers. So in my opinion, ignoring customer service is a mistake. Kind of off topic, but a quick note on the lowball offers thing, something I've never thought about until this happened recently. But I had a set of golf clubs listed for $135, and one day I received an offer for $10. Now, obviously, that didn't make me happy, so I just ignored the offer out of spite. And a few hours later, I actually got a message from the guy saying that he would go ahead and pay full price for the set since I didn't accept his offer of a $10 discount. So basically, he didn't understand how the best offer thing worked. He was only asking for a $10 discount, which would have been fine with me, but instead of providing good customer service and countering with an offer that would have been acceptable to me, I, out of spite, just ignored it, and I could have lost a really good sale. So you never know what people are thinking, and I never ignore lowball offers anymore. And finally, have you ever bought something that maybe you've sold several times only to bring it home and go to list it and realize that it's not worth near as much as what it used to be? Well, maybe the opposite is true as well. Maybe you're finding out that the stuff that you probably destroyed during your childhood is worth quite a bit of money. These are called market trends, and ignoring them can be a huge mistake. If you ignore these trends, it could lead to you buying stuff that has little to no value, or stuff that could sit and become stale in your inventory. It could also lead to missed opportunities. If you're not up to speed with what's hot right now, you could potentially walk by a really high value item at a thrift store or garage sale. Paying attention to these trends is also how we stay ahead of the competition and thrift stores. Basically, we have to know what they don't. If we can educate ourselves on what's selling and what's popular right now, we're more likely to pick up the good stuff that they miss. These trends also affect current inventory. Remember I talked about managing inventory earlier? Well, this is part of it. The stuff that you put into inventory 6 months ago may not be worth near as much as it was when you first bought it. That may be why it's not selling. So when you are going through your inventory, make sure you double check comps and see what the stuff is selling for currently. The difference may actually surprise you. I'm the world's worst at this, by the way. Now, obviously, we can't know everything, but if you're interested in learning about trends, I've got 2 tips for you. Number 1, if you're interested in the trend of a specific item, Terapeak is a good tool. It's free with an eBay subscription, and it can kind of show you past sales and the history and trends of an item for the past 3 years. To me, though, it's a lot easier just to be a part of the reseller community. There's a lot of cool Instagram accounts that you can follow. People show you what they're selling. You can join a Facebook or Discord group. To me, I like to turn on what sold videos, sometimes in the background while I'm working, and I always learn new things that are selling. Everyone in the reselling community seems to be open and willing to share and willing to help you out. There's some people that'll even spend hours on a YouTube video for free to try and help you with your reselling business. And that's it. I just picked 4 things that I thought that you guys might enjoy discussing. But leave me a comment down below and let me know what I missed or what you'd like to discuss in the future. I do hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.